going live in 5, 4, 3.
Ellery Queen's Minute Mysteries, brought to you by
Manischewitz. We not only bring you Ellery Queen, but many fine products, including Manischewitz matzahs, a name to remember, a product to enjoy.
This is Ellery Queen with a case I call the Overtrained Watchdog. A philanthropist named Barker was murdered in his heavily guarded mansion. 3 suspects, all relatives of the dead man, were in the house at the time of the murder and would profit by the old man's death. No one could have gotten in, said the inspecting officer, because Barker kept a highly trained watchdog on the grounds. And since the dog was neither drugged nor killed, one of the 3 relatives must be the killer. Not so quick, I suggested. Somebody could get in, watchdog or no watchdog. In a moment, I'll explain after this word.
Manischewitz matzahs, the only matzah awarded the gold medal at the 1926 World Exposition. Available wherever you find fine kosher foods.
In the case of the overtrained watchdog, the one other person who could have killed Barker was the watchdog's trainer, the only man whom the dog would obey. By silencing the dog, the trainer got into the house and killed Barker, an old enemy.
Want to match wits again with Ellery Queen? Here's another of Ellery Queen's Minute Mysteries.
Hello again, this is Ellery Queen with a case I call the Lady Spectator. I had a call from a philanthropist named Hickey who said he'd gotten his hands on an old diary of great historical importance. He asked me to examine it, and I did. Written in a lady's hand, the diary described the meetings of the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, with marvelously written eyewitness accounts of the event. I handed the diary back and said, "The lady writes well, but it's a fake." In a moment, I'll tell you why.
For almost a century, the old-fashioned goodness of Manischewitz has ushered in festive dinners across America. This year, once again, Manischewitz matzahs, gefilte fish, soup, and other fine delectables will grace many traditional tables. Treat your family and friends to a taste of tradition, too. Manischewitz, a name to remember, a product to enjoy.
In the case of the Lady Spectator, the sessions of the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia were held in secret. She couldn't have been an observer. So whoever wrote the diary did not bone up on history.
And now it's time for The Shadow.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
Once again, Carrie Salt brings you the thrilling adventures of The Shadow. The hard and relentless fight of one man against the forces of evil. These dramatizations are designed to demonstrate forcefully to old and young alike that crime does not pay. The Shadow, who aids the forces of law and order, is in reality Lamont Cranston, wealthy young man about town. Years ago in the Orient, Cranston learned a strange and mysterious secret, the hypnotic power to cloud men's minds so they cannot see him. Cranston's friend and companion, the lovely Margot Lane, is the only person who knows to whom the voice of the invisible shadow belongs. Today's drama, The Nursery Rhyme Murders. Brookside Home is a private sanitarium located in a densely wooded area in the suburb. It's about 8 o'clock in the evening as Superintendent Alfred Foster walks down the corridor on his way to visit one of his patients.
Sound, footsteps, door opens, footsteps stop.
Good evening, Bert. How are you? I'm fine, thank you, Dr. Foster. I've been waiting for you. You should be asleep by now, Bert. Oh, I've been waiting for you to come and read to me. Now, we can't read to you every night. But you promised. You said if I ate all my supper, you'd read a story to me. And I ate it all, Dr. Foster, every bit of it, the cereal and everything. Read to me now, please. We told you, Bert, that after you'd been here a little while, we'd have to stop reading to you at night. You're not going to read to me? You're tired tonight, a bit feverish too, I think. Now just go to sleep, and in the morning we'll... No, I won't. You promised to read me a bedtime story. Now, Bert, I know you broke your promise. Now, Bert, you mustn't get excited like that. You broke your promise. You promised.
Sound, footsteps.
Bert, stay where you are. Don't come any nearer. You're bad, and I'm going to hurt you. Bert, no. Take your hands off my throat. I'll make you read me one. I'll make you.
Sound, quick footsteps.
What is it, Dr. Foster? What? Bert!
Get him off me, quick!
Let him go! Let him go! Yeah, there. Now stay over there, Bert.
Thank you, Andrews. That was close. He promised to read to me, and he broke his promise.
You want me to get one of the other orderlies, Dr. Foster?
No, that's all right, Andrews. Bert just got a little excited. I can handle him all right.
I don't know. I think we better send him over to the violent ward.
You'd better not send me away. You'd better not. Now, Bert. You'd better not try and send me away. If you do, I'll hurt you all. I'll hurt you all bad.
Sound, clock strikes 3 times.
Orderly.
Be quiet, Bert, and go to sleep. It's 3 o'clock.
I want a drink of water, Andrews. I want a drink of water.
Go to sleep, Bert.
Please, Andrews. Please.
All right, Bert, just a second.
Sound, footsteps, water poured. Footsteps.
Okay, here's your water.
I was awful thirsty.
Yeah, here you are.
Thanks, Andrews. Thanks!
Sound, splash of water.
Now give me those keys!
No, you don't!
To me!
Sound, violent struggle. Body fall. Keys jangle.
Now I've got the keys. I'm going to get out. I'm going to get out.
Sound, fleeing footsteps of a madman. Sound, dialing a phone.
2, 4, 2.
Sound, phone ringing over phone. Phone pick up.
Brookside Home.
Hello, this is Polly Andrews. I'm Harvey Andrews' wife.
Oh, yes. Hello, Mrs. Andrews.
Is my husband there?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Andrews, but he isn't in. All the orderlies are out on the grounds hunting for Bert Eustace. He escaped last night, you know.
Well, that's just it, operator. Our cottage is at the north end of the grounds. I understand that Eustace is violent, and I'm here all alone, and, well, I'm frightened.
I don't know what we can do. I'll tell Mr. Andrews to phone you when he gets back here.
Well, all right. Thanks.
Not at all. Goodbye, Mrs. Andrews.
Goodbye.
Sound, phone hanging up. Door opening with a creak.
Who's that? Who's there?
Hello, Polly.
You! No, no, don't.
Sounds of a struggle.
Little Polly Flinders sat among the cinders, warming her pretty little toes. Her mother came and caught her and whipped her little daughter. Displaying a nice little nose.
Sound. Body drops.
Lamont, I know it's presuming on our acquaintance, but I want to thank you and Miss Lane for coming to my office this morning when I phoned.
Not at all, Fred. Glad to be of service.
The fact is, I need your help desperately. You see, Lamont, I'm a psychiatrist, not a criminologist. I don't think it's a case for the police, but I do need help in trying to find this escaped patient.
And the searching party found no trace of Bert Eustace last night, Dr. Foster?
No, Miss Lane. He's still at large, and I feel pretty badly about it, too. Bert was showing signs of violence. In fact, he attacked me yesterday. But instead of sending him to the violent ward, I kept him here for observation.
Then you think he's capable of being a killer?
I'm afraid so, Miss Lane.
What kind of case was this patient, Fred?
Not fundamentally a criminal type, but extremely unbalanced emotionally. During his periods of irrationality, he reverted to his childhood and lived in a completely juvenile world.
What do you mean by that?
He went to bed when it got dark. He ate his cereal faithfully. He insisted that I read bedtime stories and nursery rhymes to him.
Bedtime stories?
Yes.
And nursery rhymes?
How have you been handling the case?
By trying to find out as much as I can about his background, especially his childhood.
Any luck?
Well, I haven't been able to get much out of Bert himself, but his father has given a pretty good lead.
His father?
Yes, he's a well-to-do but eccentric old man. He used to come to visit his son devotedly every week. Recently, he's been coming less and less.
Do you think Bert has some sort of father complex? Perhaps his father's been neglecting him lately.
Yes, he's become more and more unbalanced until he's reached the breaking point and decided to escape. Something like that, Lamont.
Dr. Foster!
Yes, what is it? What's the matter?
It's Mrs. Andrews, Harvey Andrews' wife. Was murdered in her cottage last night.
What?
They just found her strangled to death. But the rest of it doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense?
The killer carried her body upstairs and left it in the fireplace.
This is horrible. This poor woman's body curls up in the fireplace like this.
Very strange resting place.
Yes. Notice one other thing, Fred.
Yes?
The killer took the shoes off the corpse.
But why? Why did he take her shoes off?
Why did he carry her body upstairs and put it in the fireplace? It doesn't make sense.
On the contrary, Margot, it does make sense.
What do you mean?
In the tortured depths of Bert's mind, he acted with a terrible logic.
I don't think I follow you, Lamont.
Neither do I.
You said this man Bert loved bedtime stories and nursery rhymes?
Yes, that's right.
Well, in my opinion, he killed this woman right out of a Mother Goose rhyme.
What?
Listen to this, Margot. Little Polly Flinders sat among the cinders, warming her pretty little toes.
Lamont! The dead woman's first name was Polly.
Yes, and she sat among the cinders. That would mean the fireplace, Margot.
Yes, and warming her pretty little toes. No wonder the killer took her shoes off.
Precisely. The clues are all in the rhyme. I wonder if it's only the beginning.
What do you mean, Lamont?
I wonder if the killer is going to stop with this first murder, Margot. Because with all the Mother Goose stories there are, death can rhyme many times.
Oh, Lamont, Miss Lane, I'm glad you're here.
It came right out when we got your phone call, Fred. What's wrong?
We haven't been able to locate Harvey Andrews, the husband of the dead woman.
It's midnight now. You mean you've been looking for him all day?
Yes, Miss Lane, ever since his wife's death. Andrews was out trying to find Bert with the rest of the searching party, and now he's vanished.
A woman is killed. Her husband disappears.
Sound, phone rings.
Oh, pardon me a moment.
Sound, phone pickup.
Hello?
This is Parks, Dr. Foster. Could you come out to the reception room for a minute?
Yes, of course, Parks.
Sound, phone hang up.
Lamont, Miss Lane, if you'll excuse me for a moment, I'm going out to the reception area. Maybe the searching party's come in.
Yes, of course.
Sound, door opens, door closes.
Lamont, do you suppose that Bert has killed the orderly as well as his wife?
I don't know, Margot. Strange I haven't been able to locate him yet.
Sound, phone rings.
Oh, it's Dr. Foster's phone, Lamont.
Yes, I suppose I better answer it.
Sound, phone pickup.
Hello?
Listen, Doctor. Little boy Blue, come blow your horn. The sheep's in the meadow, the cow's in the corn. Where's the little boy who looks after the sheep? He's under the haystack, fast asleep.
Sound, tapping of receiver.
Who is this? Who is this? Hello? Hello?
What's the matter, Lamont? Who was that?
Eustace, Margot. Come on, I think we better get outside fast.
Well, where are we going?
To the farm and back of the sanitarium.
Why? What do you expect to find out there?
I wouldn't be surprised, Margot, if we found little boy Blue.
I still don't think we should be wandering around the grounds in the middle of the night without Dr. Foster.
I think Dr. Foster will be very glad we left without him, Margot. Here, hold the flashlight up.
All right.
Isn't that a haystack next to the barn?
Why, yes. But what?
Come on, Margot, let's go, and be careful. We may be walking into a trap.
Sound, footsteps on grass. Stop.
Here we are. There's a pitchfork. I'm going to start digging.
Sound, pitching hay.
Lamont, what do you expect to find?
The killer's given us a clue, Margot. If I'm not wrong... Oh, look.
There's a body under this haystack. It's Andrews, and he's wearing a blue orderly's jacket.
Yes, Margot. Little boy Blue.
Only this little boy Blue isn't just fast asleep. He's dead. Lamont, listen. Can you hear it?
Before tonight's exciting adventure continues, here's a word from Carrie Salt.
Listen, kids, here's a super duper offer. Your chance to get the thrilling magic shadow ring. Not just a piece of jewelry, but a ring that acts like it's enchanted. Wear it in a dark room and it changes into a glowing circle of light. You've never seen anything so weird and mysterious. I know you'll want your magic shadow ring right away. Later in the program, I'll tell you how to get it. And Mom, I'm sure you'll be glad to help by sending in the white star from a package of Carrie's table salt. This extra fine salt sinks deep down into food and does wonders for the flavor. Yes, Mom, you'll be as glad to have Carrie's salt as your youngster will be to get that fascinating shadow ring. Full details of the offer later. And now we return to our drama, The Nursery Rhyme Murders.
Margot and Lamont, in search of the nursery rhyme killer, are at Brookside home in the office of Superintendent Alfred Foster.
You say you heard the killer's laugh after you found the body, Lamont?
Yes, we ran after him, but lost him in the dark.
First, it was little Polly Flinders. Then it was the little boy Blue. I wonder who Bert will pick next.
I can guess his next victim, Miss Lane.
Who?
Myself.
You?
I'm afraid of the same thing, Fred.
Bert hated me as much as he hated Andrews. As I see it, he went to Andrews's house to kill him and found Andrews wasn't there and killed his wife instead.
And he caught Andrews on the grounds later and killed him and buried him under the haystack.
Yes, and logically, well, I come next.
You could be right.
I'm afraid I am. Oh, we've got to find this man. We've got to.
The police have a statewide dragnet out for him right now.
Yes. They're so busy covering the highways and terminals, I wonder if they haven't given the most logical place a very fast examination.
Hmm?
The most logical place?
Yes. Bert's home. I think we'd better have a talk with Bert's father, Lamont. I wouldn't be surprised if he knew a great deal more about where his son is hiding.
Not a bad idea. Come on, Margot.
I'll get my things.
That won't be necessary.
What do you mean?
You're not going with us, Fred. It's not safe.
But I...
You admit yourself you're probably next on Bert's list.
Yes, but I just...
You're the psychiatrist. I'm the criminologist, remember? We'll phone you here at the office as soon as we've seen old man Eustace.
Well, all right. Thanks, Lamont.
Forget it. Come on, Margot.
Sound, low traffic noise.
And so, Mr. Eustace, at Dr. Foster's suggestion, we decided to come here to see you.
Yes, I see.
I know you're as anxious to find Bert as we are, Mr. Eustace.
Yes, I am.
And then if we could just step inside for a moment, Mr. Eustace, and talk to you.
Oh, all right. Step inside.
Thank you.
Sound, footsteps. Door closes, traffic out. Footsteps.
Follow me into the parlor. This way.
He really is an eccentric.
Yes. Did you ever see anything like this old mausoleum?
No, and I don't think anyone else has for the last 50 years.
Here we are. It's a little dusty. We haven't used the parlor for quite some time. Sit down.
Thank you. You live here all alone, Mr. Eustace?
Yes, I do. Lived here all alone ever since Bertram went away. I miss him very much.
And before that, Mr. Eustace?
Before that, it was just Bertram and I. Bertram's mother has been dead almost 40 years.
I see. You know, of course, that Bert left the hospital.
Yes, I know.
You read it in the papers, I suppose.
No, I didn't read it in the papers. I know it, though. I know it.
You couldn't by any chance tell us where Bert is now, could you, Mr. Eustace?
I don't know, Mr. Cranston. I don't know.
Sound, crash.
What was that?
What's that noise?
It must have been the cat. She must have knocked something over upstairs.
Sound, footsteps.
Those are hardly the footsteps of a cat, Mr. Eustace.
No, they aren't, are they? There must be someone else in the house.
I think there is.
I'd better find out who it is.
Come back here, Mr. Eustace! Mr. Eustace! Mr. Eustace!
Sound, door slams.
Quick, Lamont! He's locking the door!
Mr. Eustace!
Sound, doorknob rattles.
He's bolted it!
He certainly has, Margot. We're locked in.
Sound, footsteps.
Looks like we moved too slowly.
Yes, well, we were breaking out of the parlor down there. Both Mr. Eustace and Bert have disappeared. Come on, Margot. We've got to make sure. We'll go down this corridor, but stay close to me.
Don't worry, Lamont. Oh!
What's the matter, darling?
Sound, footsteps stop.
Oh, I just ran into another one of those darn spider webs.
A spider web. Well, spider webs won't hurt you.
Maybe not, but there was a spider in the middle of this one. No wonder Bert was unbalanced living in this old mansion.
Sound, footsteps.
Yes, with a queer old duck like Eustace for a father, he certainly...
Sound, object falls. Footsteps stop.
Margot, listen.
It's Bert. He's upstairs on the floor above us. Lamont!
Come on, Margot. Down the end of this corridor.
Sound, fast footsteps.
There must be a flight of stairs there.
Here it is.
Sound, footsteps stop.
Lamont, he's up there, at the top of the stairs.
Yes.
Goosey, goosey gander,
Listen.
where shall I wander? Upstairs and downstairs and in my lady's chamber. There I met a man who would not say his prayers. I took him by the left leg and threw him down the stairs.
Sound, body falling down stairs.
Lamont, it must be Mr. Eustace. Poor old man.
Wait a second till I take a look.
Here's a flash.
Maybe the old boy's still...
What's the matter?
Margot, this isn't Mr. Eustace.
It isn't?
No, it's Bert.
Sound, car motor.
But Lamont, old Mr. Eustace couldn't have just vanished into thin air.
Looks as if he did, Margot. We certainly went over every inch of the house.
You really think we can pick up his trail at Dr. Foster's house?
It's the most logical place to look for him now. There's Fred's place up ahead.
Sound, car brakes to stop.
Here we are. After you, darling.
Thanks.
Sound, car door opens, car door closes.
Now, if we could just... What?
What's the matter?
I thought I saw something in the car's headlights.
What?
Figure of a man back there behind the garage. It looked like old man Eustace.
Oh, Lamont!
Margot, I'm going around back. You go into Fred's house, tell him I was delayed.
Be careful, darling, please. That old man is a crazy killer.
The shadow's going to set a trap, Margot. And this time I think the crazy killer's spoken his last nursery rhyme.
I'm so glad you've come, Miss Lane. The killer has been here.
You've seen him?
Yes, I saw the same figure Lamont saw when I stopped to pick up the mail.
Old Mr. Eustace.
Yes, and he left this in the mailbox.
What is it?
A note. Listen. Dr. Foster went to Gloucester in a shower of rain. He stepped in a puddle up to his middle and never went there again.
Then old Mr. Eustace is here. Lamont did see him.
He must have. Must mean that crazy killer is going to creep into this house and murder me in the night. He's out of his mind. None of us are safe anymore. We're all... This is strange.
What is it?
The killer really is close. Here's another note here on my desk. Eustace must have slipped in through the window and left it.
Another note?
Yes. And the odd part about it is it's addressed to you.
To me?
Yes. Read it.
She saw Marjorie Daw. Jackie shall have a new master. He shall have but a penny a day because he can't work any faster. I don't understand.
Marjorie Daw. It's almost like Margot.
You mean the killer?
I mean, I'm afraid he means you, Miss Lane. Margot, Marjorie, very close, aren't they? Close enough for all practical purposes.
Dr. Foster, Why are you looking at me like that?
It's a nice rhyme, isn't it? There's a swing to it.
Why,
See, saw Marjorie Daw. Jackie shall have a new master. He shall have but a penny a day because he can't work any faster.
You're the nursery rhyme killer.
Yes, Miss Lane, I am. I love nursery rhymes.
Sound, slow, menacing footsteps under the following.
Old Mother Hubbard went to her cupboard to get a poor dog a bone.
Stay away from me.
Little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating his Christmas pie.
Stay away.
Jack and Joe went up the hill.
Stay away.
Peter, pumpkin eater. No! He saw Marjorie Daw.
Sound, crash.
What's that? Who's in this room? I don't see anyone. Laugh, someone I can't see. Who are you?
You like to hear a little nursery rhyme, Dr. Foster?
Who are you?
I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me, and what can be the use of him is more than I can see.
Stop!
Very, very like me from the heels up to the head.
Stop!
I see him jump before me when I jump into my bed.
Stop it! Stop it! I'm going mad!
You're already mad, Foster. Your mind has been clouded by the dark shadows you profess to study.
Who are you? Who are you?
The shadow, Foster. The shadow here to see justice done.
The shadow.
You thought you could blame these murders on Bert and then on his father. You became so obsessed with this case that your own mind broke under the strain.
Let me out. Let me out of here. I'm going to get out.
No, Foster. The state has a place for you. A place where never again will you be allowed loose among society. A place where you can safely recite nursery rhymes to your heart's content. Well, that's the whole story, Margot. Foster wasn't a doctor at all. He was just a clever quack who outsmarted himself.
Became so obsessed with abnormal cases such as Bert Eustace that he became unbalanced himself. Is that it?
That's right, Margot. Bert's escape must have been the snapping point for Foster's mind. He went on a rampage, blaming everything on Bert. And when we went to see Old Man Eustace, Foster was afraid we'd find Bert and get the truth out of him. So he had to get rid of Bert, shift the blame to the father.
Then Foster was the one Polly Andrews saw, and it was his voice we heard on the phone. Both Bert and his father were completely innocent.
That's right, Margot.
I still don't see why he called you in on the case when he was guilty.
That's how he outsmarted himself. He didn't want to risk calling in the authorities, but he did need an outsider to verify his alibis and, of course, corroborate his statements. I'm a criminologist. We had met before. I seemed like the obvious choice.
Yes, I see. Well, after that case, there's one thing I'm sure of.
What's that, Margot?
If I ever have to read to a child again, it's going to be from the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Oh, Margot.
We'll return to the shadow in just a minute.
And now, calling all boys and girls, get in on this exciting offer from the makers of Carrie's Salt. They have a wonderful surprise for you. Maybe you've heard of the mysterious shadow ring that glows in the dark with a weird ghost-like radiance. But believe me, kids, you can't imagine what it's like until you get one on and see it happen. The light seems to appear from nowhere to form a gleaming circle on your finger. You can send signals with it just by waving your hand. Yes, you'll have no end of fun with your magic shadow ring. Here's how to get it. Tell Mom you want the white star from a package of Carrie's Salt, either plain or iodized. Then mail the white star and 5 cents, just a nickel, to Carrie's Salt, Hutchinson, Kansas. Or you can send the sales slip from any Carrie's Salt product along with 5 cents. Be sure to print your name and address plainly. Your magic shadow ring will come post-paid. Remember, send 5 cents in coin with either that Carrie's Salt white star or the sales slip from any Carrie product to Carrie's Salt, Hutchinson, Kansas.
You have just heard a dramatized version of one of the many copyrighted stories which appear in the Shadow magazine, now on sale at your local newsstand. All the characters and all the places named are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
The weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Crime does not pay. The shadow knows.
You have been listening to The Shadow on the WWOW radio network. And now you better pay attention to the credits. Music was transcribed transcribed and performed by the poetic Heather Edwards. Sound effects were provided by the always rhyming DeLisa White. In the cast were yours truly, Steve Viola, America's sweetheart, Rebecca Rowe, Michael Johnson in iambic pentameter, the hardest working man in showbiz, Alan Dolderer, with Mary Murphy as Margot Lane in a measured meter, and Bob Rutan as the Shadow. Join us next month on the WWOW Radio Mystery Hour as we bring you another exciting show. Good night, America. Bye-bye and bye bonds.
And we're off the air.